Hello and welcome to today's video where I'll be talking about Starlink, and this is possibly my last Starlink video that I will ever do. It's my review, my thoughts, how it's went, and do I think it's worth it still in 2024.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for all who have been on the journey since February 2021. It's a long time, and that's when we first got Starlink in this house in rural South Cambridgeshire in the United Kingdom. Starlink came to our rescue. We were on fibre to cabinet, which was pretty terrible, basically one step above ADSL dial-up type thing, and we had an upload of 4 megabits per second and a down of about 25. So it was incredibly hard to do any sort of media work or send files bigger than a JPEG to people. Starlink came to the rescue, jumped in, and I signed up immediately back in end of 2020, and I got my service in 2021, and it was quite expensive at the time, but it was a real godsend in terms of being able to share media. Back then there were high expectations. Elon Musk had he promised that there would be a sub 20 millisecond ping, etc. Ideal for mobile gaming, as in on the road gaming, not mobile gaming. Well, it will still work for mobile gaming, but this service was supposed to bridge the gap and almost compete with fibre to premises. In the first few months we got some great speeds, 450 down and sometimes 60 to 70 up, and it was very exciting. We thought we were going to have the 1 gig internet connection within no time, but it didn't quite go like that. Mine was the original round dish, as you can see, sat on the roof last night, and I was very hopeful that this was going to be the final stop for my internet journey, but that wasn't to be. During the earlier days we had big outages globally, which was quite entertaining online and watching the forums, etc. But they've now tapered off. You don't really get that anymore. You'll still have some little local outages, etc. I can't remember the last time there was a global one. But sadly, as it's progressed, Starlink, and it's become more stable, so less outages, as I just mentioned, but speeds have considerably dropped. I would get roughly 70 to 200, 250 max down, and sometimes even 4, 5, 6, no more than 20 up. Ping, it's dropped a little bit over the last few months. They have been working on it. Elon did a post on X about it and various other platforms saying that there was going to be a sub 20 or 20 ping. It sits around 20, but it does fluctuate quite a bit. It's not a constant ping there. So what is Starlink good for? Well, it's good for everything if you've got nothing else, right? So it's a really great service, and one that I would highly recommend. Cost-wise, it's more than a fibre to premises if you can get it, but it does a job, and it does a job well. What it's designed for is people that don't have access to fibre to premises. You're able to do business calls on Zoom or whatever platform you use, and you can have conversations without them degrading or breaking up. They do sometimes, but it's not that bad. You're able to game. Gaming is average. If you're really competitive, it's average. So I'll clear that point up. But if you're just a casual gamer, it's absolutely fine. It works really well. Ping is really not that much of an issue. Sub 100. Most of the time on Fortnite, kids don't complain, and my son's now 18, which is quite scary, but he doesn't complain too much. And really it works and it functions very well. In terms of video, Sky compatibility, any sort of TV service, it's absolutely fine. It does a job. It's able to get stuff down. Sometimes you get a bit of buffering, but really it's not that much. Downloading apps and various things, software, big files for editing, it's fine for downloading. Sending them, on the other hand, can be challenging. So some of my files, they can be 7, 8 gig, and I've got to send these things off. And with Starlink, it can take some time, which is to be expected. It's satellite based. One of the other points I would raise about Starlink is customer service. Now, my experience with customer service has been really good. I have Had to contact them on a few occasions for outages, etc. And more recently, I contacted them 6 months ago where I was having some outages that were lasting longer than 5 seconds. And here's what they did. As if by magic, I'm back with a massively heavy box. Yes, that is indeed a brand new Starlink system. I think it's a Generation 2 one. I've got the little circle one on the roof, which I love. And I'm going to keep up there just in case something happens to the network across the world. You never know. But this little Starlink system they sent me on Gen 2, I haven't even opened it. But that is good customer services. Within 3 days, that thing was on my doorstep and I was very surprised. And they said, oh, just keep the other one up there. And I'm like, yeah, that is good customer service. Another common question is bad weather. Does it still go down in bad weather? Sometimes, not a lot though, and it doesn't stay out for a long time. I think if there's really staticky, heavy clouds, of course it's going to interfere with it a little bit, but you can still do stuff. It doesn't go completely off, very rarely. I mean, in the last year, yeah, I don't think we've had a complete outage. It's been good. As an ISP, I couldn't recommend Starlink enough. I've loved it, I've enjoyed it, but the time has come when I've actually been able to cancel my service. Today's the first day in a long time when I haven't had it, but I have got something else. I've got this. With a constant ping of sub 10 and speeds anywhere up to 900, sometimes more. In the Xbox it's showing over 1,000. I now have full fibre to premises thanks to Gigaclear, who finally got here in Cambridgeshire, South Cambridgeshire, Gamlingay, the most remote part of South Cambridge where many companies would not come. Gigaclear have come to our rescue and we finally got full fibre to premises. Now this is something to celebrate because I didn't realise how much of a difference full fibre to premises makes. Some people in the village, demographics aside, they send emails, but when you're sending huge media files and downloading stuff, full fibre to premises is incredible. This is me updating some games on my Xbox. Red Dead Redemption, all these things are taking sub a minute to update, which is insane. It's insanely quick, and I am loving it. Of course, the wireless speeds are limited by my mesh network. I have put in some queries about that. I'm not an expert in networking, as you will know from my previous videos, but I want to be able to get this speed across the rest of the house. It is so fast. One of the things that's impressed me the most about it is when you're just watching YouTube or you're watching Netflix, you can flick through it and it's almost like it's on a hard drive. It's that quick. Everything is just there instantly. Now, I waited a long time for fibre to premises and I drove it for the village so people could get it installed. And I was one of the last people to actually get it. In fact, some companies let us on for 2 years. I'll name one of them, Vineas. 2.5 years into chasing them, they let us down. And they let us down completely. We based our business plan on them coming up because we needed a couple of connections. The whole street, lots of businesses up here, just let us down, didn't do it. But Gigaclear have come in and they have done it. I think it's about 7 months of waiting, bit of back and forward here and there. But honestly, it has been worth the wait. I might do a separate video on Gigaclear because there's a couple of things that you need to know. And they are quite a small company, but they are growing. But in terms of gaming, if you've clicked on this specifically, I'll put some notes in. But one of the things you need to be aware of for Xbox, if you do have Gigaclear, it's CGNAT. Now, that affects the network and it means that your NAT type will be strict or double NAT. So it potentially makes gaming on Xbox a bit rubbish. And that's because they use a dynamic IP address. Now, they're currently running IPv4. They're not IPv6 yet, but that is coming. So you can buy a static IP for £2 a month or something like that. And that will resolve that complete problem. It's one of the things that I got on mine. Just a disclaimer on this, I fully pay for this service. I've been so excited about it. I was going to pay more for it. I've got the 900 service, which is £29 a month compared to Starlink, which is now £75 a month. Massive amount of difference. So for £31, you could have a 900 connection and a static IP until IPv6 comes out, and you can game insanely fast. Starlink for me has been fantastic and I could not recommend it enough. There's a wonderful community of people out there, active, involved everywhere, and the portability of it's brilliant. If you get the mobile version, it is a bit more costly. The only caveat I would have with it is that if you're a competitive gamer, which I'm not, I would say if you have fiber to cabinet, which is the slow version of fiber, get that, because ping is a lot more reliable and a lot more stable. I think that's the only thing that's really letting Starlink down for me. Upload, as I say, is a bit iffy if you're uploading media files, etc. But overall, I have loved my Starlink journey. So there you have it. That is the summary. I'm excited about the full fiber. I probably will do a video about Gigaclear because I honestly have been loving it. Absolutely loving it. I love the speeds and the things you can do with it. Yeah, and I just want to share that.
Yeah.